Well, hello and good evening, friends, if indeed you are watching. Sorry for the short notice, I wasn't actually going to stream tonight, but I think I can squeeze a short flight in. So with that in mind, a little hop over to Ibiza. So I'm not going to hang about, get done as quickly as we can. Not sure what VATSIM coverage there is, but we'll find out.
Welcome to Hot Start Flight Support. How can we help you today?
We're taking Charlie Lima Bravo. Double check, I mean it should be the same one, CSCLB. We are expecting to depart at 8:30. No, we're not. 8:15 off blocks. We're going to have 3 crew, 6 passengers. We're going to need some fuel. I don't think it's particularly cold, so I doubt we'll need to de-ice.
Of course, Captain. I'll get that organized for you right away.
Excellent. So we'll want to jet. Make sure that I've got like tracking running, which apparently I don't. So just loading on Volanta as well. Not a bad tracking app, it's good for keeping everything together. So looks currently like there is DC online, but never mind. So you can see my my poor parking still in evidence here. Have we got enough? So it looks like this ramp is relatively new when I looked, and I think what happens is the jets get turned manually, but I wasn't too sure. So there's nothing here, there's nothing in the way. Just taxi out straight ahead. Quite reasonable. I changed this in WED just to see if it made it any better, and I think I could have done a bit of a better job. Doesn't look too bad, but maybe terminal doesn't look. There's a private FBO there. Anyway, let's talk. If you are watching, do say hi. I have got the stream running on my iPad, so I should be able to see it. Double check and see what the APU says. Just to still say about 10 and a bit. And ground services, you can't quite see what I'm doing on the menu here, but turning the AP battery connection on because that's not modelled yet. And can we... Do I feel like I'm sat lower down? Stood lower. Feels a little bit weird. Maybe it's just the lighting. Anyway, main battery connection is made. Start taking the covers off. Reflection's not perfect there. Just leaving the panel open because we'll need to open the door before we go. Nice red tinted flashlight to tell you what, we'll get the power set up before we do anything else. Have a look in here. Lamp is that way and works. Pop the fuel gauge, the fuel panel on. Lamps will work, and then of course checking circuit breaker, none of which popped. Some down here. These ones here. Easy to align your head with the panel and have a look. Same down here. So, EPO and flight hubs, no. Circuit breakers checked, emergency equipment, fine. Hydraulic pumps up here, off. Down here, nose, steering, mapped correctly and off. Landing gear lever, down and sim down on my hardware. Light spoiler, mapped and works. Maps are up outside. Map position is matched. ADG manual release down here is stowed. So the battery master can come on. Nice and bright. DC electrics, 22 volts minimum we have. Turn all these down in a moment. Virex monitor, 2, 3, 4 squibs, AP2 OK, 2, 3, 4, 5 fail, 2, 3, 4, 5 red,
overheat.
3 red, 3 green,
Jet pipe
and
overheat.
warning. It says somebody's watching, so if you are watching, do say hi. Fire detection's done. Nav lights, they are already on. Logo on. We particularly need it. We can start the APU up in a minute. It's 14 degrees out, so there's no real rush. I will put power fuel on. And then sort brightness out. Just turn everything down. Till we get something sensible. I guess that's a little bit dim. It might be alright. Once we get away from the pan. It's not on yet. It's not on. So how much fuel do we reckon we've? 3,550, is that increasing? I'll just pop the D up for you so you can see it. You can hear the fueler doing his thing. 3,560, I can't remember what we last finished with. 3,560 I think. We've got a block fuel tonight of 6177, so should we call that 6200? Or so 6200 take away 3,560 equals 2640 in pounds. So divided by 2.205.
All right, Captain. Fuel truck is hooked up. Just let me know how much fuel you need.
Means we
or would you
need
like to go tanks full today?
1197 kilos, and then divide that by the 0.809 kilos per litre, which is just showing up on screen there. Means we need 1479 litres. So 1480 requested.
All right, I'm gonna go start up the pump.
So a little bit of math needed. Waiting for some shut off test once those lights go out. Shut off, works. Center's off. Get the wings filled. A little bit in the aux tank, but not that it matters. We can refuel with the APU running, which is very handy. Done the checks, we can APU start. Haven't read the departure briefing, so I'm not sure if there's any limitations on the start, but we don't really have much of an option. Just waiting for the generator to come online. APU's settled down at 100 RPM. So what have we got? Sensible AC readings, sensible DC, the TRUs are all working, the battery chargers are working, all the buses are done apart from the UTIL.
Flight compartment checklist. AC and DC electrics.
Checked.
Nav lights, logo light.
Both on.
Cockpit lights.
Set.
Lamp test.
Again, you don't have to do it if you don't want it. Ah, I said it was set, but look, set. That's a little bit bright. So, lamp test. Right side. Lights on. Checked. Now I'm pretty sure the ATS is meant to say test. Don't know if that's just a sim limitation.
Duct monitor.
Duct monitor is of course up here. Test.
Bleed air duct.
Duct test okay.
Air duct.
And the audio
Bleed
switch lights.
air duct.
That there was interesting. I think that's just the object kill the fuel truck. Bay check. That's that flip. Check.
FMS database status. FMS flight plan uplink, ATIS.
So let's grab the flight plan.
Refueling is complete, Captain. Do you need anything else?
Well, that was quick. £6,200. I'm just going to check and make sure that goes up. We won't have used a huge amount on the APU. And data link for the weather. So we are going from LEMG to LEIB, and our alternative is Valencia LEDC. Sigmets, I think there are a couple. Have a look at that off the paper plan. So for the Madrid FIR, the Barcelona FIR, I haven't actually seen those, so I'm going to see what we get by putting these in. Exactly the same as what I wanted.
Anti-skid.
Armed test. 6180 on the fuel, so I'm happy with that. Anti-skidding test is done.
Okay, just one quick signature on here, and I'll.
So we got 1479.8 litres at 1.37 a litre, not cheap. 2028.41 USD. I think you'd pay in euros.
Here's a copy for your records. Have a nice day.
Enough.
Nose door.
So tell the fueler to mind himself as he goes back.
Hydraulic 3A pump.
On.
Brake pressure.
Just waiting for the inboard brakes to show 3000 psi. Which we have.
Parking brake.
Set indicated.
Nose door.
Better go out and do that. And then I'll turn the fuel pumps off as well. Click that. So I wonder if the object kill is necessary for those lights. I don't know if it's that or maybe it's just the sim. Once you can't see it, you'll certainly see them go off once you turn too far. I've only really found that noticeable doing a bit of light flying. So the check was nose door closed.
Hydraulic panel and pumps.
So well, rear goes off, everything else comes on. Sensible. Brake pressure, everything's reading good. Temperature, pressure, temperature and quantity sufficient. Caution, they're all on. Caution back on and turn them off.
Electric panel.
So Gen 1, Gen 2 off.
AC DC utility switch.
On. Lights on.
Start ignition panel.
Those switch lights are out.
Fuel panel.
2, 3. That one just come back on? Yes, it did. Round the houses check.
APU LCV.
Open.
10th stage isolation valve.
Open as well, both indicated.
Packs.
On. 14 degrees in the cabin should get a
Air
little warmer.
conditioning panel.
So easier to see from here. Normal. Now extinguished and guarded on the ram air. Temperature set as you like and set to the cabin.
Pressurization panel.
So, how high is Ibiza? .24 feet, so 0 is fine. Our forecast QNH, sorry, the current actual QNH, Ibiza is low pressure 999. Makes sense with the state of the weather down there. And that's 5-1, which is about there. So man rate centered, correction, man out centered, man rate is Prescott, manual on the ICAS, off, by limit, emergency depress, out, extinguished, guarded. Altimeter set, barrows set, and there's a rate selector aligned with the pip.
Bleed air panel.
Off, on.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel switch.
Down here is off.
Cal anti-ice switches.
On to no caution. Out.
Anti-ice panel.
So wing switches off, left and right heats off, cal left and right are out. To test. 2, 3, 4, test OK. Off. And the cautions. Ice detection. Checked. Overheat.
Wing overheat.
And anti-ice test OK.
Wing overheat.
Emergency lights.
They are currently off with a caution. Yes. Put them on. Go check them. Not modelled yet. Set them to armed. No caution.
Passenger signs.
On.
ELT.
Is armed.
Glare shield panel.
Set.
Crew and passenger oxygen.
So 1860. Checked. Checked.
DCU warning panel.
Out, extinguished, and guarded.
CVR.
Test. And the light is on.
Audio panels.
Just set to COM1 on both sides. Happy with that for the time being. 1228.
SPS system.
So stall protection is on this side. Protection is on my side. We go stab 1 on. Put it all the way down. Thanks very much for that weather update, Black Knight. Yeah, I added some extra fuel. So I've got 4,000 on arrival, and I've put some of that as ATC and weather fuel. 15 minutes for ATC and 30 minutes for weather with those gusts. Because it could be quite choppy with X-Plane. So, flight controls, synoptic. Display the flight controls. Simultaneously hold these two down, and we're looking for stall fail, ignition A and B. Stick pusher, everything else. Stall fail. Ignition A and B we have, stick pusher, autopilot disconnect, relaxes, G-switch comes off, elevators all the way forward, and everything goes when we release it.
Integrated standby instrument.
That's down here, I'm not going to set it just yet, but it appears to be serviceable and aligned.
Clock.
Light reset. UTC looks correct, or close enough.
EFIS, ICAS.
Checked.
Main landing gear bay overheat.
Fail, check. Test, overheat. Gear bay overheat,
Gear bay overheat.
checked.
TOS warning switches.
There they are, out, extinguished, guarded. Test,
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
test done.
Pitch and roll disconnects.
Both stowed,
Ground spoilers.
auto.
Thrust reversers.
So the emergency releases are out and the reversers are on.
Thrust levers.
Yeah. Correct. Set, cut off, shut off. Same with number 2.
Engine speed switches.
Both on.
Engine vibration check.
3.5 VIB and stops.
Oral warning. Smoke
work.
detector.
Smoke.
Smoke toilet, smoke baggage bay.
Smoke.
Trims. Mach trim.
So 1 Mac, channel 2. So clacker works that way, clacker works down. Yes. We check over here. Up. Down. Disconnect. 2 Mac, channel 1, yes. Clacker. Clacker, check it this side. See it there. So both channels work. So stab 1, stab 2. In, no caution. Stab trim caution, no. Stab 1, stab 2, info not there. Mac goes in, no caution. Chem all set, about 6 units departure. Works every time. I'm going to do the other 2.
Yacht ampers.
On, caution away.
Reversionary inhibit switches.
See those down there, so out, extinguished. Norm left, norm, 1.
IRS.
There they are, all three in nav.
CPDLC.
So there's nobody online.
TCAS.
I have above and below set just because online.
TCAS system test OK.
ATIS and clearance.
So let's have a look at the terminal weather. We have no clearance, so we'll end up self-clearing ourselves, and I'll write these down because hopefully if you write it down it should sink in a little bit. It's 1930 Zulu 290 at 13 gust 24, variable between 260 and 320, 10k or greater, view at 4,000 feet, temperature 14, G6, and the QNH is 1009 with no significant change. Clearance, again, we're not going to have.
FMS flight plan. Wind update. Perf.
So let's grab that flight plan. Correct. The route is UMUKA. Yes. Direct to RESTU. It's November 851 to SUMMO. Then MITOS, BRUNO, and RUXET. And we have a step climb. RESTU, right, once we get to RESTU we can climb to flight level 400, so our initial cruise is going to be 240, which I will set now. Go straight up to it with nobody online. That changes, look at the departure, and I'll change it. So happy with that route. Obviously that's part of the arrival, which we're not cleared, unlike in the US where you get filed an approach, go to the waypoint and then change. Convey that. Do the perf, then the wind update, so I'm going to put 91 in there. Now early, it's degrees. We're expecting 6 passengers plus 1 extra crew, so I'm going to put 7 there, which is going to give us, if we say, I don't know what, 25 pounds of baggage each. 7.5, lost in rounding really. Clear the fuel caution, 6140 cents to close enough. The alternate cruise is 160. And our reserves, 1000 seems sensible. FinRes 890, so a little bit of padding on top of that. T30 is our scheduled departure. Execute those. Wind update, just to give us a more accurate arrival time. See how much that changes. So we're looking at 104, 2103. A bit slower VHF. While we do that, I'm just going to have a look at the aerodrome chart. So, import sim brief. There we go, that did work. So 104.2. There you go, 6 minutes off. So, don't know if you can just see that there. 1 hour, 4 minutes. So it really does make a difference if there's wind, gives you much more accurate ETA and therefore fuel burns, etc. So,
Takeoff data.
takeoff data. Now let's have a look at and see what is being used in reality. I think I have something of a clue based on the wind. You never know. So I think it's the northerly runway available for departures because, oh no, somebody's lining up down here. So I guess we will take that. EasyJet currently off to Southend. Tell you what, let's have a look at the charts on here, shall we? Using my newfound skills. So EasyJet's just come down and is using here, which kind of makes sense. I guess at this time when it's quiet, you don't need to go taxiing all over the airport. Yeah, so we'll take 3-1 as well. That extra 1,000 foot might make a difference for some. So nope, wrong. Upper menu, there we go. This position isn't great. I should probably try and set a view to have a look at these. Is that better? So 3, I haven't got anything for 2. Why don't I set that as 2 and I can use that for charts, see if that works. That's alright, isn't it? So, we have some nighttime charts. So, that's our departure chart. We can check the aerodrome chart. Parking stands. Bit hard to see, to be honest. We know where we are. I'll just zoom in down here. We're here on 122, so we can one-way taxi round this way, out, and then do a left and get going. So that'll keep the taxi time down. There's our departure. So that says runway 30. And actually, we want 3-1. So, let's have a look. Why didn't that work? That become go. I know which one I need first, and obviously I'd be cleared for that. Let me do a little cheat and look on Navigraph. So that's 30 departures. Can change the runway. 13 knot headwind, 2 knot crosswind. Guess it's probably slightly more into wind. We're going to right. Tell how much attention I was paying there, and of course none of these are next to each other. So, is it the one Papa? Yes, it is. Which is this one, and that will change as we change the departure. Very similar. Going to pin that on the iPad. So let's have a look at 3-1. On Papa, that's a much quicker way of doing it. So we'll go back. Take off, pop the wind in, 29013. A little bit more of a crosswind, but there's still only 5 knots. Ample runway, shorter taxi. The length we have, send speeds through. Let's have a look at the departure, shall we? Are there any notes on here? Can we even see them? Just about. So DME required, fine. After takeoff, before reaching 2000, go over lateral approach. Expect close-in obstacles, fine. Minimum climb gradient here, 6.5%. We can make 10, so 3 days. Where are we? 92. 902 is quite a long way away, isn't it? It doesn't tell us how high we're going to be. We can have a look on the legs page. Fly level 240, okay, well. Let's go with that. I'm pretty sure we can make 2. We can, because it says we can. Our MSA is 9,000, which is pretty high. Over 11 for those. Initial climb is to 10, and quest level change. Approach. Nobody's online. So, days we'll step through these and just double check them. So, 210, 210. That's going to be a pretty steep climb. Then 230. And I would expect that we would get free speed at that point. Pretty high up. So that's our departure. We'll be climbing like a rocket. So takeoff data. So happy with that.
Avionics and charts.
So rows I have on the left. ICAS window. Yes, I've got set up. Charts. Happy. Check the menu for these. That's changed. One pepper, fine. The airport chart, got the departure chart, the parking stands. Happy.
Flight instruments.
So we can set those as an RNAV departure, I'll arm nav. Our max speed is 210, so we'll bug 200 as normal. Takes a little while. So what I didn't do was look on the chart for the runway QDM. Which is 312. So horizon level, slightly nose down, sensible. 289 is approximately correct heading by just eyeballing where we are. Heading is set to the runway. We are FMS1 nav, Mike Golf. 931 is the first waypoint. We'll have these speeds 113, rotate 121, V2 is 132, and then takeoff speed is 152, 200's bugged. N1TO, sorry, left side flight directors, takeoff, out select armed, and our initial cruise is set but not cleared. LNAV is armed. Elevation seems correct. 1009 QNH, VSI's level 91%, N1TO.
Departure briefing.
We discussed it's a relatively simple RNAV departure apart from the stonking climb that we're going to get at 210 knots.
Hello, Captain. It's Jenny from Hot Start Flight Support.
Hello, Jenny.
Your passengers have arrived.
Great.
Shall I have them brought to the plane?
Yes, please.
Understood. They'll be there in a couple of minutes. Anything else?
That's it. We're good, thanks.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
So, simple departure out to UMUKA will easily make above flight level 100.
Emergency procedures.
Not going to happen today.
Pins, covers, chocks.
They should all be out.
Cabin lights, water heaters, master seat.
Well, we can pop the cabin lights on. Oh, they already are. The downwash lights are on. Excellent. What we can do is ease up because I hadn't done that yet.
Flight compartment checklist complete. Engine start checklist next.
Great. So just waiting on those passengers.
Engine start checklist. Doors.
Just have a look and see if there's any traffic online. A little bit. They might be inbound. So what time did we start? Yeah, 30 minutes to get set up. It's not too bad. A bit of practice.
Hello, Captain. Hope you are doing well today. Great. There's nobody else coming along today, so as far as we're concerned, we're all good to go.
Excellent. Let's do that then, shall we?
Closed. Parking brake and pressure. Checked and set. Fuel quantity and balance.
Limits 400 pounds for taxi, and we are less than 200.
Beacon.
So still nobody online. No need to call up and tell anybody we're starting, because that's just silly. What I will do is pop the transponder on first though.
On. Fuel boost pumps. On. Ignition. Armed. Engine 2 start.
So let's ask our handy invisible ground handler if we're clear to start. Thumbs up we have. Clear to start engine number 2. It's 2015, starting engine number 2. Ignition's on, lights on. N1's turning, oil pressure's increasing. 20% check. Yes, less than 120, and N1's turning, fuel on, fuel flow's increasing, ITT's increasing, oil pressure's increasing.
Fuel system.
So right's running, we're looking for left low. and right pump. Left low pressure.
Engine 1 start.
Clear to start engine number 1. Start engine number 1. So N2's turning, oil pressure's increasing. 20%, less than 120, and once turning fuel on, flow's increasing. ITT's increasing, and oil pressure is increasing.
Engine start checklist complete. After start checklist, next. After start checklist. Generator 1 and 2. On, checked AC and DC. Ignition.
So AC's checked, DC, all the buses are lit, TRU and batteries green.
Disarmed. Packs. On. 14th stage. Open. Cowl anti-ice.
A little bit difficult to see.
On, check 45 seconds. Flight controls.
Full forward, full aft, full left, right, left rudder.
Ground spoilers.
So they're currently in auto, no deployment. Disarmed, no deployment. Armed, they deploy, back to auto, they stow.
Flight spoilers.
All up to half, all stowed.
Cowl anti-ice.
On.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice. Test on. Fuel balance.
Lower on the left. Pump to aux.
Trims.
1, 2, 3, set for takeoff.
No steer.
We have no chocks in.
Armed. APR.
APR 1 test, APR enunciated and 1 OK. And 1 indications and 2 OK.
ADG unit.
Down here. Hold, light comes on. That goes off.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice.
Waiting for that one. Just waiting for that test. There it is.
Cowl anti-ice. Off. Wing anti-ice. Norm. 14 stage isolation valve.
Opens. Closes.
Wing anti-ice.
So we have wing anti-ice on, we have left and right heats, and we have N2 caution. N2 yellow.
Checked. Off. ATS.
Doesn't say
N1
to do.
TO. ATC TCAS.
Do it.
TARA. After start checklist complete. Taxi checklist next.
It's 2020, we have 5870 pounds. We are clear to the left, clear to the right. Turn the boarding light off, shall we? Malaga traffic. Fraction 242 Lima, Challenger 650 taxiing, hold short runway 31 from the general aviation apron. Malaga traffic.
Taxi checklist. Taxi lights. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Is he moving? He is moving. Wing and cowl not required.
Brakes and steering.
It's a good thing that I've seen no text and heard nothing. So, welcome to VATSIM, and it's 2021, and G100. Brakes work. Fulls available and steers, fulls available and steers. Increase, increase.
Reverse thrust.
Left check. Unstowed. Checked. Stowed.
If taxiing the de-ice, pause checklist here until paper de-ice checklist is complete. Flaps. 20. Altimeters. Set and cross-checked. Radar weather. On. Takeoff briefing.
Discuss left seat takeoff. Could be a relatively rapid departure. All the way up. We may disregard the speeds as we climb up. Thanks very much for the weather update. Probably not going to make too much of a difference. 2506. Okay, that's a bit different. Let's redo the performance when we get down there.
Taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist next.
I'm not quite sure why you fly on VATSIM and either don't mention. I don't get it. Just don't get it. Malaga traffic radio check. That 3 Golf November. Now this is HS1. I thought that was hotspot on the chart, but it wasn't. It was actually Hotel Sierra 1. Guess they went offline. Weird, don't get it. Are these guys, they look, inbound, stalling, whatever, who knows. So, let's get the weather. I'm pretty sure they are going to match up. At 8. They don't seem to be going very quick. No idea. No more for VATSIM. So 2506. Variable between 0 and 0. Still greater than 10k. Few at 040 still. Now temperature 13. Still G6. Still 1009. So let's plumb that in, see what difference it makes. 2506. 3054 on a 10,000 foot runway. We don't need to check the intersection because we're essentially at the very end. Thanks for the update. I would have not checked that. So our minimum takeoff fuel is 3838. We've got 5800. Well, maybe they are inbound.
Before takeoff checklist. Passenger signs. Advised on. Anti-collision light. On. Pros. On. Windshield heat. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Continuous ignition. On. ATC TCAS. TARA. Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel. Checked. CAS. Takeoff config OK.
Well, I've got the parking brake on, so it won't give us that. Let's hold on the brakes and check. Takeoff config OK.
Landing, pulse, recog lights. On. Before takeoff checklist complete. After takeoff checklist next.
Malaga traffic fraction 242 Lima. Lining up, departing runway 31 UMUKA 1 Papa departure Malaga traffic.
Approaching 3-1. On runway 31.
728, correct runway. Checked.
V1. Rotate.
Traffic at 611 miles
Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear travels. Certainly feels like the sim is trying to be gusty. We're above takeoff safety speed, positive rate, safe flight. Flaps coming up.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps. 0. Thrust reversers. Off. Ignition. Off. Pressurization. Checked. PAX transition. Completed. N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU. Shut down. Passenger signs.
So 210 max, we're going to leave
CAS.
the signs on. Checked and clear.
After takeoff checklist complete.
Should we go pitch there? A bit high otherwise. So still max 210. So let's accelerate the aeroplane once we get to 10. We're comfortably above the MSA now. Still no ATC. So pressurization checked, climbing comfortably. Blue pilot on.
On traffic, 619 full stop, shuttle speed.
Okay, we're up to 300. Nice bit of wind up here. Give our party passengers a roller coaster ride. Let's go for a little change because we lost a little bit of speed there. Stonking amount of drift, what is that, 20 degrees? And then once we get to UMUKA, we can, that's a lie, once we get to RESTU. Where's RESTU? No, RESTU's 129 nautical miles away. It's a bit of a pain. Although there is nobody about, so definitely could go higher. See how we get on. It's just an airway limitation. No, this is a direct, isn't it? No, I have no idea where we are capped. Or charts. There is no airway here. So I have no idea. So why don't we just go straight up to 400? Save us some fuel. Passing 200, Kevin Elt's 23, steady rate, Delta P's within limits. So overhead 904, max 250, seems a little bit slow to me. Well, we're getting bounced around a wee bit. Turbines are made on. See if that settles it down. I think that's probably a combination of X-plane's unrealistic wind turbulence added whenever there's the wind shear that gets added on whenever there's a change in speed and direction, but it's a little bit unrealistic. So Alicante is online. All of those southern Spain EasyJet Ryanair destinations. Ryanair. They always go to the obscure airports, don't they? So initial is 55. Reckon. As we speed up. Approaching max changeover. Oh, you can't do it in the climb, can you? That doesn't look fun, that massive drop in speed. Hey, look, I wasn't far off with that guess off track. 3 degrees off, 2 degrees off. 20 degrees drift. At least we've got tailwind, that helps. XPGFS. No, I don't. I try and keep the plugins to a minimum, but that does sound like it would, if it addresses X-planes aggressively gusty wind corrections. I mean, it could be turbulent, but I think just as you see on the PFD, the wind swinging around just a little bit, it just artificially induces turbulence. I mean, I could be talking rubbish because there are signets. So we've got, let's have a look at these. I haven't plotted these, obviously. Severe turbulence, and de-icing. Northeast. Severe turbulence. So maybe it is correct. And I can just shut up. Oh well, bumpy ride. So, well, Palmer's online, but not Ibiza. Shame. Not that there's anything special about Ibiza, just single runway, relatively close. Could have gone to Alicante or somewhere else, but didn't. Yeah, I remember that turbulence seemed to be a bit better. I guess it's difficult to depict because, you know, certainly you want some turbulence in cloud, but it just bounces you around. It doesn't necessarily just go so wild as this. I don't know. Difficult to explain. So we reckoned that the arrival QNH was just under 1,000, so I'll set that now as a gross error check. That's a Ryanair SOP, which seems pretty sensible in my mind. You get your destination last actual QNH, and you set that so that you can't make massive gross errors. There are some things Ryanair do quite well, I think. So, have a look at chart. Don't need that one anymore. There is Ibiza. Relatively simple layout, some high-speed taxiways. Well, yeah, 2 high-speed taxiways we should easily be able to make with 9,000 foot runway. No need to aggressively brake to try and meet those. The brakes out, I'm sure they're pretty expensive on this jet. Yeah, stopping. Do it. Oh, I mean, I love some of these overseas restrictions and or translations, but if you leave, make sure you do it 75 meters from the centre line. I think that just means clear the whole short line. Otherwise, how am I going to measure that? So, high intensity approach light system on both runways. Length of 300 meters on the 06. In X-plane, that's not going to matter. I think it's a real shame in X-plane that we can't specify the type of approach lighting system and then specify the length, because that does make a difference. So 2 here and 5 here saying 900 meters, that's a big difference for approach lighting, and I assume that that's going to make a difference when it comes to the landing minimum visibility, being able to see those lights. So it's a shame we can't do that. Thanks for the weather. Ooh, 250 at 20. Nice. This could be fun. Straight down the run. 10 degrees off. Means 1/6. So 1/6 of that will be crosswind, and then 5/6 headwind. 3 knots crosswind. Is that about 1/6 of 20? It's not far off, is it? I didn't see that before I said it, so that is just using MDR to quickly work it out in your head. How are we doing? Still climbing? Has it settled down? No, not really. Are you going to get turbulence at flight level 400? You'd like to hope not. You're starting to get above the weather at that height. What did I see today? The Global 8000, Mach 0.95. That's what we need in X-plane. Nice to have an extra 50 knots on the tail. How's it go? 400 self-cleared. And nobody's about. I guess not busy on a Tuesday. Yeah, approach lights. Difficult one. And sometimes they're just a bit janky. I think they're a lot better than they were. But yeah, it would be nice to have a little bit more control over those things. You know, either leave it default or have the option. There must be a way to put that, because the sim generates it somehow. Stop that flashing because it's annoying. Since we last flew, I have ordered a monitor. So thinking about, like I mentioned last time, replacing the G1000, which is a good bit of kit, don't get me wrong, but is not really particularly well suited to this jet. It has 4:3 ratio screens on it currently. Speed up, out capture. And they're side on, so then I have black, probably, you know, just about a third of the screen, if not a little bit more. Can't quite work it out by eye. Oh, if the approach lights were collidable, yeah, if you could drive into them and they would break. I mean, sometimes it's good that the scenery does not have collision when you get driven into by Austin's fuel truck. But the option to turn it on or off would be nice. So, yeah, I've got a portable screen coming, which seemed to be a knockoff of the Asus screens. Anyway, it looks quite good. It's a 16:9 portable screen, about the size of an A4 piece of paper, which seems to me to be about the right size for PFD on my desk. And I'll be able to fit PFD and MFD, so essentially both of these screens here in front of me. I'm not too fussed about it being realistic and life-size, but at least I'll be able to have those. Then that will take up a little bit less space on the desk. And ideally, I'd like to get the pilot control panel, whatever it's called, Avionique Sim. I just need to find a way to get that above, maybe on a monitorizer or something. And then if that works quite well, not only will that free up some USB ports, but I'll be able to drive two SIM displays off of one HDMI lead, and that then leaves the option open to have this side on another screen, or this side and these. Well, not necessarily these, but I don't know. I don't think the pop-outs are making too much of a difference on FPS. But you know, I think it's about 52 quid for one of these portable screens. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. Could potentially add another one to it. Like I said, the G1000 is nice and will be great for the TBM. But if I'm flying this, I think it would be much more, just a bit more immersive, having the correct bits of kit. So that's the next project. Just need to find a way to have it sort of not as a permanent cockpit build, but just sat on my desk. I've got the DCP and the CCP that just sits next to the mouse within reaching distance, you know, so it's not in a realistic position, but it doesn't matter. Just having a little extra bit of hardware is quite good. So that's the next SIM project, and then when the TBM comes out, I can use the G1000. Like I say, it doesn't mean a huge amount to me having a G1000 because I don't fly one in real life. I think if the DA40 I flew had it, then it would be a much bigger deal. There's one thing I will lose is the ability to audio panel select, which is what I've got on the G1000, the comms thing in the middle. I could just have that separately, or find something else generic, maybe label it. I know a lot of people use X-Touch minis, you know, to replicate something like this. I guess that might be a possibility. I don't think there's any data refs. Well, I certainly couldn't find any data refs for the audio or the lights. So if COM2 on monitor, I couldn't find anything that indicated that that lit up. But I didn't try particularly hard. So lots of little things to keep the brain active. I think about it. I'll tell you what. Right. RESTU overhead. Which is the start of the Barcelona FIR. Barcelona. So we will be overhead 5 miles in, I'm going to call it 52. And we were meant to take off at 30. So I think we're 2 minutes ahead of schedule. And fuel-wise, we're actually lower on fuel. A little weird. Two minutes early, 20:54 nil ATC. So we should have checked in. Oh, there we go. Stocking up at 1,000 feet a minute. Wonderful. Yeah, so I'll be away this weekend. So I might stream tomorrow. The little monitor arrives tomorrow, so I might give that a little try out. Again, need a short flight really, and probably won't stream on Thursday as I want to travel straight after work on Thursday, but that might not work and I might just go on Friday, but I'm packing anyway. Away for the weekend, come back for Monday, Tuesday. On the road straight after work on Wednesday, so might be able to squeeze a stream in next week, and then I'm off on a vacation, holiday / vacation for a week, well over a week. So expect it to be a bit quiet off next week. I apologise for that in advance. Get back in the swing of things when I get back. So is it a new moon? Because it's not very well lit up. I did notice one of the other nights it was really good with the moon. I mean, those clouds look like they're being lit from the top, so I guess the moon could be above and behind us. Why don't we do this and have a look? There it is, right overhead. Don't know if you saw it there. But the clouds do get lit up with the moon, which is probably one of the most immersive bits of the difference to the lighting engine. Towns, etc. look relatively good, even though they don't have the pinpoint lights, because as you get further away from them, they do actually look a bit more like that. I don't know if you've noticed from the other streams, but as we get lower and we start flying towards these, and then the individual lights pop in, that's a little bit unrealistic, and I'm surprised that's something that Lamina haven't managed to just make a little bit subtle. You know, if it did it over a second or two and just faded in, that would make a real difference because you just notice the pop. I know there used to be a mod that Tom made that did extended lighting distance, and that looked quite good. I don't think it had a massive FPS impact, but like all every other tweak that you use, it ends up getting reset when it comes to updates, etc. So, what do we reckon? Runway 24 arrival, we've already got that. Is that taking us to Gizlu? Yes, it is. So, I'm happy with that arrival. And of course, we need to step through the reality. So, with arriving at RUXET, flight level 100, above above, yes. Then 24.9083, yes. 060, 061, 12.2, close enough to IB800 above 4, yes. Zemdu is max 220, it is above 4, and that was 7.4 miles. 80, 8 miles, IB726, yes. That's at 220 as well, 3,000 above. So it looks like we're going to be, you know, dragging it in. You get the idea. Step through all of those. Get to Gislu max 210. And it's going to be on way 24. So we've got the ILS. So runway 24, did we say that 24 had the shorter, let's have a look at the chart, shall we? Did we say that it had the shorter approach lighting? No, we didn't. It has got 100 meters. And the ILS, the RVR for that is 600 meters or 750 when a flight director or autopilot or huddles to DA is not used. So 600 meters versus 1100 meters on the other end for Cat C, 1100 for Cat D and 1000. So I think that is indeed to do with the approach lighting length. Cat C is 244 and 261. So we've actually got higher DA on runway 24, but a reduced visibility requirement with the approach lighting on. And it's 1300 meters on both when there's no approach lighting system. So, as the charts say when we do this now, I haven't picked up which, have I? What are we going to do? Do we do the ILS or the RMP? We've got an LPV only approach. Or we've got the ILS, the RMP Yankee for an LNAV, VNAV. Dealer's choice. Yes, indeed we are. I don't hear that term very often. Yeah, you're right. I think once there's a lot of things that Laminar, they're a little bit slow to introduce, but at least they introduce them and it starts to look really good, and then it's relatively competitive, isn't it? So it works out. Gislu. Everyone loves an ILS. Looks like there's construction going on. GA apron. It's an SEI apron. SEI. Dunno. I'll have a look at that in a moment. But I've got them set on the iPad first. So we simply get to Gislu 210. It's actually, oh no, above 3 is still fine because the intercept is 6 miles and 2,000. About 2.7, which is manageable. 6 miles, 3 degrees. Nice normal approach. Let's have a look at the chart. Go. So if I go that way, there's the ILS. This has got all the categories, and of course on Navigraph, you can get rid of A and B, you can just go for the jet ones, which is of course what I do. I'll check the weather, but I appreciate you posting it. So we could set the Ibiza VOR 178. Oh yeah, because we are getting there. And we've managed to just bust straight through top of descent. That's bad drills from me, so let's keep the speed up and go flight level change. And we'll wind down to 10. Haven't even briefed the approach. Too busy faffing. Whoops. Let's request these again. Can always go into a hold. There is no video online. Doesn't appear to be anyone there. Let's catch the ATS. But we get the weather and pay a little bit more attention to what's going on rather than chatting. I did say it was a short flight. Obviously didn't even listen to myself. So, as you'd expect, exactly the same. 2030. 260 at 21. 10 plus scattered at 1100 feet. Temperature 15, GP 13. 1000, so there's that gross error coming in. There we are, dropping like a stone. Are we going to catch it? No, we're going to have to enter the hold. Never mind. Holds are there on the arrival. So RUXET's just coming up. We could hold at Zemdu or Gizlu. Don't hold at Gizlu. Let's see what we can get rid of. I'm going to set that early. I know it's a little cheeky, but one less thing to do. Runway 24, 60, and 21. Hopefully it's relatively steady. 3,000. In my head. So the factored length 3,000. So including the factors. Under half the runway, so we should easily make one of those high-speed taxiways. 124 crosswind was 7. That's still within for 10. So our VREF is 12. Sorry, our V approach is 129 and 5 knots. Is there any limits on the approach climb gradient? There's a hell of a lot of stuff on here. Missed approaches, runway heading to 800 left. Number 45 DME IBA, yes, max 185. And then we're going to intercept 181 IBA to 7 DME. Oh, and then a left turn arc, wonderful. Cross 151 at or below 2.5, then right to intercept. Ugh, horrid. Then to 3, okay, the MSA is 28. Minimum is 279. It's 1095241 on the course. Off bank selected, why have you not deselected it from be tuned, excellent. And we said 141. Where did I get that from? 241. Almost like I'm blind. Runway 24, of course, it's not 141. So 7,000 feet a minute. We are not going to make that. So let's enter the hold. And we will enter the hold at Zemdu. Hold entry is 061. Right hand turn. It's an ICAO hold. We will use that 1.5 minute legs fine. No rush, no fuss, no drama. But you can see that we're just 12 degrees above. There's no way we're going to make that. So there's no point smashing out the speed brakes and making a hugely dirty dive in. So IBZ's already tuned. The 178 I want on standby. So that's the missed approach. 178 IBA. Same on the other side. .1095, 1095 set both sides, 241 on mine. I don't need to worry about the other side. Glide set 60 ME at 2,000 feet. 279, 280 minimum set. And the missed approach we've done. The transition level is going to be 60.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness.
I'll just pretend we've got shoulder harnesses.
Passenger signs.
So 60 at 1000 is 75. The passengers haven't been able to get up or out the entire flight.
Pressurization.
Yeah, we said that.
Fuel quantity and balance.
Almost equal.
FMS landing data charts.
We have done.
Approach briefing.
So we're going to enter the hold here, then follow this long support downwind in. So once we get back on profile, 20 degrees too high, so we'll just do a couple of laps. The speed limit here is to 20 at Zemdu. So the vertical speed set to 20. Let's start bringing that back. Check speed, yep, fine. So, no need to be behind the aeroplane, we will just let it sort itself out. So we should be at 4,000, or well, above 4,000 here, but definitely not 22. Look at that for a missed approach. At least we'll get some guidance. Still no ATC. Nothing seen, nothing heard. Anybody on the ground? No. So busted the speed a little bit there. And then once the speed comes back, we can go 220 all the way downwind until the end, 210. So, what was the check? Approach briefing. Done.
VNAV transition flight level.
Done.
Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next.
Do that as we get a bit lower. So, in the hold. Happy. Now we can go flight level change. Let the passengers out if they need a quick toilet break. Don't really, unless they've been having a lot of champagne. What does that mean? The eye are all over at Lipa. I'm gonna say, does it seem pretty smooth? And I can put the seatbelts on auto. Although the speed bounces around a bit, so maybe it isn't. See if anybody else is inbound using VATScope. 2 arrivals. Somebody else is following us in for just the other side of Cartagena at the moment, so they're no factor. No departures. Got the airport to ourselves. While we're descending in our miserable hold. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. 2,000 feet a minute. I think we can exit the hold at this point, so 1 lap will do us. Oh, I didn't want to do it immediately. Never mind. We might be able to make that up. Give us another lap, but shows what I know. Oh, Roger, yeah, there is no ATC, so I mean, you know, this time of night they're probably going to give you free speed anyway. It's just the traffic, just to separate traffic and make everything a bit more predictable when it's busy, isn't it? So, all right, so we're exiting and. Are we back on path? Appears to be no path. Maybe we'll regain that as we come out. Let's go VS and go 1200 is set, which should get us back on path. Maybe I should have just left it, seen where we ended up. We could have just extended downwind. Accidents happen, it's what you do about them.
In range checklist.
Let's not forget that this time.
Started. Altimeters.
Why don't we set ourselves down to the clearance limit. Follow the star. So that's set. That's set.
3 set. Cross-checked. Avionics.
So we are expecting a nav transfer. it doesn't happen, I've got the preset nav, correct frequency, localizer set, was set.
External lights.
Pop those on at 10,000. Yeah, we can just keep the speed up. I'll ignore the speed limits. I suppose it doesn't make too much difference, does it? 220 versus 210. Ibiza traffic fraction 242 Lima, overhead Zemdu, inbound ILS runway 24 Ibiza traffic. Ibiza. Surprisingly, I've actually never been. I've not done any of the Balearics. There we go. Back to normal, back under control. Nobody saw, nobody worried. What are these? Are these all boats? These lights will seem a little excessive. What do you reckon? Right, we've got some VNAV. So back on profile, we're actually a bit low. Seems odd. We could take the shortcut, but I'm happy to just let VNAV drag us in. It is armed. And we can let it do the speed for us. Considering it is a bolt-on, it works relatively well. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is the whole point of having this these long downwinds. I do much prefer the point merge. I haven't been to Dublin for a while, but the point merge works very well. That is a lot easier, especially when you're on your own, to just nip in. Whereas these long downwinds, it's a bit more obscure for the driver, but great for ATC, I'm sure.
On. N1 target. Set. APU PAX transition. Avail completed. APU generator.
Seems to be struggling a little bit.
On.
Guess it's that
Cats.
tailwind. Checked clear.
In range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next. Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever.
There we go, so that's just so I don't forget to call for the before landing checklist, get it started. Back on profile. A few more track miles, but who cares? So we have a left turn to 331. It's only a 5 mile leg, so this might end up being a relatively steep turn. VNAV at the moment sometimes throws a little bit of a wobble, that like it has done here in the turn, 2,000 feet per minute. And the speed goes all over the place. So how about calm that down a little bit, bring the speed back to 200. We're at glide slope intercept. to 3. Let the airplane get settled. Follow the glide slope. That shouldn't be a false glide slope. Hey Eric, thanks for joining. Just in time to get us into Ibiza. Ibiza traffic, fraction 242 Lima. Final ILS runway 2422 miles. Ibiza traffic. Okay, the boats are looking a little bit better as we come around here. The fact I can't tell which way they're going makes me... Oh, maybe they're rigs if they're lit up with red. Oh, hey, yeah, hot start Discord, wonderful. Yeah, it is very disorientating. So, just under the glide slope, are we going to maintain that or are we going to intercept it? It looks like we're actually quite nicely tracking it. 20 miles, 6, sounds about right. Can't see the airport yet. So overhead Gizlu. So now we're onto the approach chart. Batbeam max 210, that's a max, so we're fine at 200. 200 is comfortable in the Chally. Irma's at 3, and then 60 ME glide slope check. I think we're tracking relatively nice under here. I'm not going to... I suppose we can arm it. But then the issue we have is range. 17 miles is a little bit far out. That's looking pretty good on the island there with the lights and then things just disappearing. It's pretty immersive. So I think we can bring it back to 800 feet a minute just so we actually just stay at 1 dot. We've got the ability to slow as we capture. 15 miles. So the missed approach was 3 anyway, so happy leaving it at that. No. Don't actually want VNAV. I'd like to shallow this out. Are we going into cloud or is it just dark out? I'm going to arm approach. Localizer capture. Glide slope is armed 1 dot below. A little bit bumpy. It looks a little bit bumpy, and I can see the runway. Happy days, that just popped out of nowhere, didn't it? 12 miles, do we want flap yet? No, probably not. A little bit far out. Fly it clean. Let's see, if we do 180 with 1 stage of flap, throws the nose down. Ibiza traffic, fraction 242 Lima. 10 mile final, ILS runway 24 Ibiza traffic. Not that there is anyone to hear. Oh, actually no, this guy is on his way in. Also nothing seen, nothing heard. So glide slope capture, we're not going to out capture. That mess of a missed approach. Ugh. That gone up or gone down? Now the wind's got a little bit better. So we will increase our landing distance, but not by anything worth worrying about. So the virtual airline wants stable by 1,000. Even in this wonderful night VMC conditions. $7 miles, still a little bit early. 5 or 6 miles for gear down, probably 6 in this is easier.
500.
Ship's looking a bit better, quite a lot of red on them. I guess we're getting bounced around with the wind coming off. Rain. Right, we've got a right crosswind. We get gear down as we start to get thrown about a bit. Let's try and get the
Down
airplane
indicator.
stable.
No steer. Arm centered clear. Anti-skid. Armed tested. Passenger signs. On. Wing cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Continuous ignition. On. Thrust reversers. Armed. Spoilers. Stowed auto. Flaps.
Holding on the landing flap. Yeah, I'm not aiming for a missed approach. I'm just saying that it looks like a bit of a mess. There's a lot of radials to intercept. 360s. So let's go flap 140 at about 1500.
Set. CAS.
Checked.
Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
We have 120 knots over the ground. 40 knot head. Well, not quite 40 knot headwind. 35 knot headwind. Tell you what, let's add another 5 knots just because these X-plane gusts concern me. So 1,000, a bit more stable, still a little bit bumpy. This approach is set. Ibiza traffic fraction 242 November, 2.5 mile final runway 24. The lights are looking pretty good. I tell you what, with the object density turned up, it really is a lot more immersive. So no pressure, already a little bit low.
Approaching 2-4.
Really difficult when you're not actually feeling it in the seat of your pants as well. So a little bit high, correcting. Don't need to be too aggressive because we've got ample runway.
Approaching minimums.
Still a little bit high, but within.
Minimums.
Continue. Felt like a little bit change in the wind there. Thought we'd be
100.
blown over to the left a little bit more. A little bit high.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Little bit of a thump. Versus deployed. Done better, but I've done worse. There's the first high speed. We're in no real rush to make that, so we'll just go for the second. Save the brakes. 80 knots. A little bit of braking. 60 in stow. Rolling down to GS of 45. So Echo 7.
After landing checklist. Landing, pulse, recog lights. Off. Anti-collision lights. Off. Continuous ignition. Off. Windshield heat. Off. Probes. Off. Wing anti-ice. Off. Cowl anti-ice.
Oh, managed to overshoot that turn a little bit. No cowl anti-ice required.
Spoilers. Stowed. Flaps. 0.
Ether
ATC
traffic fraction
TCAS.
242 Lima,
All
runway
time.
vacated.
Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine shutdown checklist next.
So we're going all the way to the end. So GA apron, we're looking to go past stand 7. We're on Tango, we'll do a left on Golf 2. A bit further down than here. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. We'll see. I mean, landing rate is really nothing to go off. Of course, the monitor down here is the one to check. It was a little bit of a thump, but we were a little bit long.
Hot start
so I
flight
didn't want to
support.
float it.
Jenny speaking. How can we help?
Let's have a van, please, Jenny.
Understood. We'll have that ready for you. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Always a pleasure.
So stand
Take
7
care.
is the last stand. Pop the reverser out. We're going to need... I have no idea where we're going to park. The hardest bit of flying. Charlie's last stand. Sure is. Right, Golf 2 is here on the left. These signs do help, don't they? I remember back in the day when there was barely any lights. The Flight Sim 2000 days. This was certainly a pipe dream back then. 52 meters, that's fine for us. Where are we going to go? Let's go down here. On Earth. Guess there's a lot of private jet traffic that comes in here. Look, a little Cessna over there. Should we go say hi? I have no idea if these stands are suitable for us. They look it. Certainly these are bigger than the ones to the north of us. Normally I'd turn the lights off as we go to harbour, but cannot. Crossing a road, wonderful. Make sure no explained vehicles are going to kill us. And then this is, oh no, 7.5 mic, so I've gone over it. I shouldn't have crossed the road. My bad. Maybe these aren't quite big enough for us. What do we reckon? Should we have a look outside? Yeah, maybe that's alright. I think that's going to have to do.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake. Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2. Off. Engine 2 shut down. Fuel boost pumps.
So,
Off.
left is running, we're
Fuel
looking
system.
for right low. And we have right low.
Engine 1 shut down. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius.
Checked.
Anti-ice. Off. 14th stage. Off. Beacon. Off. No steer. Off. ATC TCAS. Standby 0.
I know what I
Parking
did
brake if
change.
chocked.
Flight ID. Just waiting for the chocks. Parking brake off.
Passenger signs. Off. Cabin differential. 0 PSI. Engine shutdown checklist complete. Securing checklist next.
Be nice if someone did that for you. And then the
Our
van
ride is
appears
here.
out of nowhere.
Thank you, Captain. Always such a pleasure flying with you. Have a nice rest of your day.
Whoa. No idea what happened there. Ah, there's the other one coming in. Could be here by now.
Secure and checklist. Emergency lights.
Off.
AC/DC utility switch.
Off. Can't see a darn thing.
Headsets. Thrust reversers. Chocks.
They are in.
Parking brake.
It's off.
Hydraulic pumps.
So I'll turn those off, but I need to go and do the nose door. So let's do that now, shall we? Also can't see. Nice bright flashlight. Oh, get stuck. That's quite nice seeing the nav lights. The flare is a little bit overdone. I know lighting has been an issue since it changed. Within the box, it looks like it. Somebody's clearly put some effort into the airport here, doing the signage, stand lines. They look pretty good. I know you don't pay a lot of attention to lines. That's a bit odd, why one goes on top of the other, but I do appreciate it because I do the occasional bit of scenery work, and it is very time consuming. So pins and covers. There they are on the approach. Again, the nav lights look alright, the landing lights. It's fine sort of there, but there's no real change. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got to paint one line first, right? Just get the masking tape out. And I'll just stay and have a look at this as it comes in, because it's quite, I think it's quite interesting to see the changes that were made to VATSIM for the update rate. They did seem to make a difference. Just stand out here by the wing. Blinding light. Reflection's nice though. Again, just adds a bit of immersion. Yeah, you'll see. It just generates the position vector, and then your sim will draw it. Now, what's interesting is in a different sim, if there's a difference in elevation, you can sometimes see it because the aeroplane will settle down like that, and then your simulator will lower it to the ground, or at least your ATC client will. That's a bit funky. You see, I couldn't tell if that was. I mean, the reflections are pretty good. The models might need a bit of work. and the lights, but you can actually see reflections on that, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I think it's kind of a shame that there wasn't a quick hotfix put out for some of the simple things. I think Toto posted the one of the files to get rid of the particles, so at least when you do the de-ice, it doesn't look insanely bright. I think you know, like a 1.91 would have been good, but he has his reasons for doing that, working on other things. But it seems it has been quite a while since an update, and I know these things can be relatively simple to find, but then they're just sort of fragmented all over the place, which is another reason why I didn't really want to do fresh Windows install. I changed the graphics card. Finding all of the things that I've dumped over time is not a challenge I relish. Right, where did we get up to? Hydraulic pumps, well, they can go off now, can't they? Oh. Yeah, exactly, the switch bugs. Yeah, seeing as there's already a fix, seeing as it's already been fixed, it would be good to just push it, you know, like a 1.91, 1.92, 1.93 as those fixes came along. Especially the easy stuff that's already done. Right, pumps.
Nav
yes.
lights, logo light.
So logo light, I think that went off anyway. Nav lights can stay on.
APU generator.
Tick up here.
APU start stop.
Then that one.
Packs.
Then those.
LCV 10th stage isolation valve.
And those two.
APU power fuel.
That one.
ICAS APU gauge. Battery master. Cockpit refuel panel.
Look back and see if the cockpit's lit up.
Service lights. Pins and covers. Securing checklist complete.
I'll tell you what, I'll leave that on. £3,500. APU fuel. Not sure why this flickers. Does it flicker here? That about. Weird. Yeah, I'm looking forward to an update. I mean, I'm looking forward to the TBM. Trying to get my head around that will be fun. Right, there's the aeroplane shut down. The Iberia down there somewhere. Lots of vehicles dotted about. Happy with the frame rate, even with all the lights. Although I think these are the newer lights, so they're not as bad as these old Apron ones. Not bad effort. Yeah, the TBM I think will be battery running low. Yeah, the TBM I think will be great for shorter flights and into smaller airports, which use the jet as the big comfy and then take the TBM. I'd love to have one in reality. Not happen though, is it? Have to make the A40. So we've got 3510. The aeroplane shut down. Get outside and check the APU counter. I think I miscounted at one point. I mean, the intensity is pretty good. It drops off with distance. That 11.5? Can't check the oil just yet, so I'm going to leave that. Leave that. Another 5 minutes. But call you with that. So as always, thanks for watching. Nice to see you all. I hope you have a good rest of your week. I may or may not do a stream because I've got the try and look at set up. So getting my head enough for an evening's entertainment. And then Thursday is probably either. So hopefully If I don't see you tomorrow, hopefully I'll see you. Have a good week, have a good weekend, whatever you get up to. Thanks for the support. See you again soon. Bye for now.